So, hello everyone, good evening to all. Just confirm me once in the chat box that my voice is audible and this presentation is visible to you. I just request everyone, please comment on the chat box which is available on the YouTube platform that my voice is audible and the PDF file is visible to you. Okay, sir, thank you for your response in the chat box. I request everyone to make this session interesting and interactive, and this is completely depend on you only. Okay, sir. So this time we are having this session on YouTube platform. Okay, we have no Zoom meeting, so today we are holding this session on YouTube platform because there is certain technical issues on our YouTube on our Zoom platform. So we are going to handle this session through the YouTube. But this is my promise to you, this session is very much interesting and very much important for all of us. Okay, so for that purpose I just require one commitment from your side, that you just need to make this session interactive. If you have any question, any query, any doubt, put it in the chat box which is available on YouTube platform. And the most important thing, if possible, try to share the link of this webinar on the budget 2025 with your other professional friends in your other professional groups, so we all can create a great world of knowledge. So let's start our discussion on budget 2025. Before moving ahead, I just want to clarify certain things. Sir, in this particular session, Budget 2025, we'll discuss the proposals related to indirect taxation, that is GST, goods and services tax, in a very detailed way. Okay, and we'll also cover briefly the income tax related proposals as well, because I am the faculty of indirect taxation only. Today I am going to cover certain income tax related matters as well, because my partner is not available. So I will cover the matters related to income tax as well briefly. Okay, and indirect taxation GST related will cover in a very great way, in a very unique way, in a very simplified way. Okay, so let's start our discussion on the budget 2025. Before moving ahead, I just want to share with you one important information, sir. This webinar we are going to organize in association with All Goa Tax Practitioners Association, VRS GST Academy, and Pondicherry Tax Professional Societies. So thanks from my heart to all the associations, they are going to support us, and all the viewers, you have joined the session in a very unique way and with a very unique numbers. So I just request everyone be there. We'll start our discussion on the budget 2025. So first we'll discuss the GST, goods and services tax related changes. Sir, most important thing, goods and services related taxes are very less in numbers, but these changes, these proposals are very, very, very important. Okay, and one more important information I just want to share with you, sir, related to income tax. In next week government is going to release the income tax bill, new income tax bill. Okay, so we all should learn that as well, income tax bill. Okay, and this is the very specific information from my side, that our Batuk Academy is going to release the first book on the new income tax bill. Okay, whenever it will be released, we'll start our preparation and will release the first book on income tax bill. So sir, the point is that all the changes which is there in income tax is relevant, yes, but most important thing is that whenever there will be a new income tax bill, we need to learn it completely. So in our today's session we'll discuss the income tax very briefly. Okay, we'll cover the GST related changes in a very detailed way, and I will not take your much more time, because earlier we have planned for a 2-hour session, but today we'll cover it in next 1 hour or 50 minutes only. So I just require your 100% attention on the screen, but feel free, एकदम फ्री होकर के आपको बैठना है, एकदम रिलैक्स होकर के आपको बैठना है, because we learn in a very specific way. So first we'll start our discussion from the GST indirect taxation perspective, and we have divided the changes or the proposals or the amendments into 12 parts. Okay, So we'll discuss one by one each and everything. So, sir, are you ready to start our discussion? Just let me know. Once through the chat box, through your messages, through your comments. Sir, are you excited? And we'll learn interesting things. Sir will learn through the handwritten notes. These are the handwritten notes, and we are going to learn the things through these notes only. Okay. So, first change, first amendment, first proposal, which is related to input service distributor. And sir, most important thing, we are not just going to cover, we are not just going to cover the changes or amendments. First, we'll try to understand the basic provision as well. Okay, so that if someone have no idea about that specific provision, then that person can first get the idea about that provision, and then after that person can get the idea about the proposal, the changes. Okay, so let's start our discussion. First thing, input service distributor related changes. So first we'll try to understand, sir, what do you mean by this input service distributor? I first need to know that aspect. Then only we'll go for the further discussion. Okay. So we'll take one example and then after share with you the things. Just give me a single second. First, we'll try to understand the definition, the terms input service distributor. Sir, if you'll see, what do you mean by input service distributor? So I am going to take one example, and through that example, I just want to explain you the concept of input service distributor. Suppose there is one head office, and that head office is at Jodhpur, Rajasthan. That head office is at Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Okay. Through this session, you all know the term Rajasthan, the place Rajasthan. And that head office has three branches. One is at Goa, another is at Pondicherry, and third one is at our Karnataka. Okay, three branches is there. That head office has taken certain services. That head office has taken certain services from one particular person, and that services has been taken with reference to all the branches as well. But the service provider has prepared the invoice with the name of head office Jodhpur, Rajasthan only. Now that head office has to transfer the input tax credit to Goa, to Pondicherry, to Karnataka. For that purpose, that head office has to first take the registration as an input service distributor. After taking the registration as an input service distributor, the head office can transfer the input tax credit to Goa, to Rajasthan, to Pondicherry, to Karnataka in the ratio of turnover. That is what is my input service distributor, section number 20. Now, the point is that, sir, the point is that when they have designed the definition of input service distributor or the concept of input service distributor, they have included the section number 9 subsection 3, section number 9 subsection 4. They have taken the reference of section number 9 subsection 3, section number 9 subsection 4 of CGST Act. Okay, sir, today we'll cover the budget with reference to the sections of GST Act also. Okay, so that अगर आपको किसी section का idea नहीं है, in that case also the same will be clear in your mind. Section number 9, imposing fine. This section is related to our charging section under GST, and this section talks about the CGST. Okay, now just try to read the definition of section number 2 subsection 61. Under section number 2 subsection 61, government has given the definition of input service distributor. Government has given the definition of input service distributor. So I just want to read the definition in front of you, and then after we'll provide the simplified explanation of this definition. Input service distributor means an office of the supplier of goods or services or both, which receives tax invoices towards the receipt of input service. That means head office Rajasthan, that head office is going to receive the services on account of the tax invoice, including invoices in respect of services liable to tax under section 9 subsection subsection 3 or subsection 4 of section 9 4 or on behalf of distinct person referred to in section 25 and liable to distribute the input tax credit in respect of such invoices in manner provided in section 20. That means this section number 2 subsection 61 says there is a head office is going to take the services, and then after these services are with reference to the various branches, and head office is going to transfer that input tax credit to various branches, and also they are transferring the input tax credit as per section number 9 subsection 3 and subsection 4. Sir, here is the change. Just I require your 100% attention. They have mentioned as per section number 9 subsection 3 subsection 4, and as we all know that section number 9 subsection 3 and section number 9 subsection 4 is related to CGST and SGST, because these sections are is of CGST Act. Now the question arises whether the IGST related input tax credit can be transferred to various branches or not. That is what is the question. Since 2017 till date, this is a confusion, because in section number 2 subsection 1 they have clearly mentioned that the ITC under reverse charge mechanism related to section 9 subsection 3 subsection 4, then section 9 subsection 3 and subsection 4 is related to CGST or SGST only. Then what about IGST? Whether IGST related input tax credit will be transferred by the head office to the branches or not, that is what is the question pending. Hence, government has provided the amended definition of section 2 subsection 61, and this definition will be applicable from 1st April 2025. And in that definition, sir, just check, definition is same. They just included the reference of section 5 subsection 3 and subsection 4 of IGST Act. Now they have covered that if any input tax credit which is under IGST head, then the head office can transfer that IGST related input tax credit to the various branches. And the same amendment has been pronounced in section number 2 subsection 61, and this amendment will be applicable from 1st April 2025. Sir, try to understand. They have amended the definition of input service distributor. The input service distributor definition is given in section number 2 subsection 61, but as we all know, the complete mechanism related to input service distributor is given in section number 20. अगर आपने हमारा मेमोरी टेक्निक वाला सेशन अटेंड किया है, if you have attended the memory techniques related session, in that case we have covered section number 20, that is distribution of input tax credit by the input service distributor. So in that case, when the head office is going to distribute the input tax credit through the input service distributor, there is requirement to change the same section number 20 as well, because here government has just changed the section number 2 subsection 61, that is definition of input service distributor, and they have incorporated the IGST Act as well. Now the point is that they also have to consider, and they also have to change in section number 20. Hence they have provided the change in section number 20 as well. Section number 20 subsection 1, earlier they have taken the reference of section number 9 subsection 3 and subsection 4, but now they have taken the reference of section number 5 subsection 3 and subsection 4 of IGST Act, so that now onwards from 1st April 2025, the credit related to interstate supply IGST which has been taken by the head office can distribute the same to various branches under the mechanism of input service distributor. Sir, this complete e-file we have created in certain parts. Okay, first we have provided the related change, then after we have provided the old section, then we have the amended section, and then we have the analysis of the same. Okay, with that we have one simplified analysis of budget 2025 guide as well, that is 40 pages. In this particular booklet we have covered the GST and income tax, both the things. Okay, we have decided the price of this e-guide at 99 rupees. Okay, we have already sold multiple books in the market, because now we have decided will not provide a single ebook free, because the point is that when we are going to provide something free, in that case no value will be there for that particular thing. When we are making the efforts to create these type of things, then we'll take 1 rupee, 10 rupee, 15 rupee, but we'll charge for that ebook so that you can go through with that ebook completely. That is what is the motive of charging the amount. Now, this is our first change, first amendment related to input service distributor. Sir, please let me know this first change related to input service distributor and the concept of input service distributor is okay for everyone. Just confirm me once in the chat box. And for that purpose, they also have to change the section number 20, subsection 2 as well, to give the effect that the input tax credit under IGST Act will be transferred to various branches. And earlier in section number 20 subsection 2 they have only given the reference of section number 9 subsection 3 subsection 4. Now they have taken the reference of section number 5 of the IGST Act, subsection 3 and subsection 4. Okay, if anyone require this ebook, in that case they may WhatsApp us on the above number. Now, second change, which is not so relevant from our day-to-day practice perspective, which is not so relevant from any analysis perspective, but this change is providing the clarification regarding the term and the definition. They have provided this specific thing. Okay, now the point is that, sir, one request from my side, whenever you are doing the practice, you just need to learn each and everything in a very unique, very simplified with analysis. Okay, जैसे अभी हम लोगों ने input service distributor का analysis किया, we have done the analysis of input service distributor, so we need to know the each and every crux, and each and everything related to the input service distributor. That is what is the thing we need to do. Now, let's start our discussion on the next part, which is not so relevant. Okay, that is, earlier, government has given one definition for the local authority. Government has given one definition for the local authority. And in that local authority, they have said that local authority means a municipal committee, a Jila Parishad, a district board, any other authority legally entitled to or by the central government or any state government with the control and management of a municipal or local fund. Earlier, they have used the term section number 2, subsection 69 of CGST Act, municipal or local fund. There is one issue, sir. Just try to understand the relevance of the terms which is there in the law. Municipal or local fund. So there is one doubt in my mind that local is a fund, because they have included the word fund with the local. With municipal, they have not included the term fund. So what do you mean by this municipal? That is what is the ambiguity in the law. And in case of multiple cases before the Honorable High Court and Supreme Court, there were certain issues. Hence, now they have included the word municipal fund or local fund. Whatever will be the type of fund, municipal fund or local fund, the same will be covered under the definition of local authority. So this is a very minor change, but you can see the effect of that change on the law. Hence, whenever we are learning any law, whether it is GST, whether it is Income Tax Companies Act, whatever will be the law, although if we are dealing in merely on the return filing or compliances handling, but we just need to learn the law in a very specific way, in a very detailed way. Okay, so this is a very minor change. Section number 2, subsection 69. They have just included the word. Sir, next change, which is very important for us. I am just going to take one example, and through that example, I just want to share with you something. Sir, if you have joined the session live, then I request everyone, please be live. Okay? Because जो मजा live में है, वो मजा recorded में नहीं है. So I request everyone, be live, be connected. We have a very great discussion related to indirect taxation and direct taxation. A lot of things are there. So please be there with me. Okay. So now, sir, suppose just for an example, I want to buy one mobile phone, and for that purpose, I am going to Reliance Digital. Okay. I bought that mobile phone from Reliance Digital. While buying that mobile phone from the Reliance Digital has provided me one coupon that Mr. Sachin, when you will come next time, will provide you a 1000 rupees off. Now question is that whether GST will be applicable on that voucher or not. That is what is the question, and this matter was very debatable. A lot of issues was there related to this specific matter only. Now, the point is that, sir, earlier section number 12, section number 13 was there related to time of supply. Number 12 is the indication of time. So this section is related to time of supply. So in case of this time of supply, vouchers, we have certain principles in section number 12, subsection 4, that if the voucher is identifiable, in that case, the date of issuance of voucher will be treated as time of supply, and accordingly GST will be applicable. And if the voucher is not identifiable, in that case, the date of redemption will be treated as the relevant date, and accordingly the time of supply will be determined. That means in case of voucher, GST will be applicable, because they are determining the time of supply and paying the taxes, and all those things are there. But now in budget 2025 and in the 55th GST council meeting, they have clarified that the vouchers related time of supply provisions they have removed, because now no applicability of GST in case of vouchers. So now the point is that if anyone is visiting Reliance or any store, or they are getting any voucher, in that case no GST applicable on that voucher, because the time of supply related provision is also not there. Government has removed the provision. For covering the next point, I require your 100% attention on the screen. Sir, just confirm me once. Are you getting the points? Are you enjoying the session? Are you there? So next point, we have very, very interesting point. Now, next point, very, very interesting, very, very important. And this point is eye-opener for all of us. You can see. Because through this particular point, we all can get the idea, the importance of the terms which is there in the law. Okay. So, I just want to share with you certain examples, and through that example, I just want to clarify this specific situation. Sir, hua kya? The point is that I have constructed one building. Try to understand the example very carefully. I have constructed one building, and I am going to provide that building on rent. Okay. And I will get the revenue from rent, and I will pay GST at the rate of 18% on that rent. For construction of that building, I have used certain input goods, input service, input material. तो मैंने ये सोचा that sir, when I am constructing the building and I am using that particular input goods, input services for the construction of building, and I will pay GST on my rental income, and that rental income is merely due to that building. Hence, I am using that particular inward supply in the course or furtherance of business only. So ITC should be allowed. So I have claimed that input tax credit. Now, my jurisdictional officer has get that fact that Mr. Sachin has claimed the input tax credit on the construction related input service or input goods. Now that person has issued the notice to me that Mr. Sachin, how you have claimed the input tax credit, because the same is blocked under section number 17, subsection 5. Section number 17, subsection 5 is blocked. मैंने बोला सर आई एम यूजिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर गुड्स इन द कोर्स और फर्दरेंस ऑफ माय बिजनेस ऑन रेंट आई एम पेइंग द जीएसटी एंड आई विल यूज दैट इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट फॉर सेट ऑफ माय लायबिलिटी ऑन अकाउंट ऑफ आउटवर्ड सप्लाई, so input should be allowed. Jurisdictional officer is not ready to accept my fact. I have filed a petition before the honorable high court. Honorable high court has also not considered my fact. Then after I have filed the writ petition before the honorable supreme court. And we all know honorable supreme court is a great personality. So honorable supreme court has analyzed the complete matter, and they found that government has given a specific section, section number 5 subsections, section number 17 subsection 5, and in that section they have prescribed a list of goods and services on which ITC is blocked under GST. Or they have mentioned that any construction related input tax credit is blocked under section number 17 subsection 5. But the point is that if any input tax credit on account of plant or machinery, then input is allowed. Now, honorable Supreme Court said that Mr. Sachin, you are saying that you are claiming the input tax credit for this particular building construction. Now the point is that we just need to check that your building is a plant or machinery or not. So for that purpose, we need to go for the fundamental test. So honorable Supreme Court has ready the checklist regarding the fundamental test of my building, and they found that the building cannot determined as a machinery because kuch manufacturing nahi ho raha hai. There is no any manufacturing and any other things. But the point is that that building is going to generate the revenue in future. So this is not less than plant. And government has used the word plant or machinery. Sir, try to understand the term. If you are merely filing the returns also, this point is important for you. Because you will only file the return perfect way when you have the complete idea or complete knowledge of the GST law. Plant or machinery. Yeah, plant or machinery. So we can say this building is a plant. So accordingly, the same is not blocked under 17.5. So ITC allowed. Honorable Supreme Court has pronounced this specific judgment in case of Safari Retreat. Now, government said that if will allow the input tax credit on account of the building by saying that it is a plant, in that case, everyone is going to claim the input tax credit and there will be a very huge quantum of input tax credit. The same can be claimed by the taxpayer. So government has made one retrospective change. Planning, dekho sir, you can check the plannings. Government has come up with a retrospective change, or government bola, I am sorry sir, by mistake in section number 17 subsection 5 we have mentioned plant or machinery, but the actual term is plant and machinery. And now they have changed the definition from plant or machinery to plant and machinery. और जैसे ही उन्होंने प्लांट एंड मशीनरी कर दिया, now for claiming the input tax credit, both the condition is required, plant and machinery, but the building is not treated as machinery. So ITC not allowed. That is what is the very specific change which they come retrospectively. That means now any building which is used completely for the rental purposes, in that case also ITC not allowed. That is what is the effect of one single term, plant or machinery or plant and machinery. And the same amendment they have done in section number 17 subsection 5 subclause number D, plant or machinery or plant and machinery. through that the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court got nullified. Sir, that is what is the importance of the analysis of the law. In case of Safari Retreat, and they have now plant and machinery, hence building not qualify the definition of plant and machinery, hence ITC not been allowed, and they nullify the effect of Honorable Supreme Court judgment. Sir, कैसा लगा? Sir, you all are there. The planning of government and the importance of the technical aspect of the law. Multiple participants. Yes, yes. Earlier they have also issued one important thing that now will not go for any retrospective amendment, but this time also they have go for the retrospective amendment. That is what is the issue. But what we can do, they are the government, they are in a position, so we can file the application before them. We are not in situation to argue with them. Okay, that is what is the point. But yes, that should be prospective basis, not from retrospective basis. But the point is that. So, sir, this is just one example of litigation. There are a lot of litigations will be there in future, because now government is also focusing on merely reconciliation between 3B and 1, between 2B and 3B, between books of accounts. They are also limited to these type of things. But as we all know, complete things are automated now. The 2B is there, the 2B is there, everything is there. Okay, so now your complete litigations will be based on analysis of the law. And if we are merely filing the returns and handling the compliances, then I think, in my opinion, we are not doing a great job. We just need to manage ourselves, that we will be in a situation to handle any analytical or critical situation related to indirect taxation. And for that, I have excited announcements for all of you. Okay, this is not an advertisement, this is just an information from my side. This is just information from my side that, sir, in our CSR activities in association with Institute of Chartered Tax Practitioners India, we have launched one specific comprehensive GST course, 45 days GST course, 1 to 45 day, 1 hour per day from Monday to Friday. And in this course, we'll cover the complete GST law in a very different way, with a lot of examples, with a lot of analysis, with a lot of technical things. With that, we'll cover around 250 recent judgments, so that the analytical skills of the participants got enhanced in a very extreme way. And with that, we'll also cover around 250 practical questions in that particular course, 45 days. And also with that, we have one physical session at your location as well for solving the queries, those who will join that particular type of course. This is a GST comprehensive course. Actual price of this course is 15,000 rupees. We are running the course same time, but with that association, we are going to hold that course absolutely free. You can join the course for 45 days absolutely free. With that course, we are providing you 3 books. One is based on GST law, another is based on 250 case studies, and third one is based on 500 practical questions. Okay, these 3 study modules will provide with that particular course. The actual price of the books is 4,000 rupees, but will provide you the books for 3,400. That means by paying 3,400 for the cost of books, which is really cost for us as well, 3,400, you will get the complete study kit, notebook, pen, highlighter, books for 3,400 only, and no need to pay a single rupee for the course for the 45 days. So this is a step taken by us, and I will be the faculty, and this will be a guaranteed course. If you will not satisfied with the course, we'll pay you 10,000 rupees, because we'll use multiple simplified techniques. A unique discussion will be there in this course. So if you want to evaluate your GST practices, if you want to enhance your GST practices, if you want to enhance your knowledge, complete theory, complete practical, complete analytical, complete technical, everything we are going to cover in this particular course. So if anyone wants to join, then they may join and you may share this information with others. You just need to pay 3,400 for the study kit only. No need to pay a single rupee for our course, and study kit is also at cost only. So if anyone wants to join, that my team member is going to share the link with you in the YouTube, so you can join it on a very fast basis, because we have very limited amount of seats for Zoom. Then after you need to go for the YouTube. Okay, this course is online, virtual, through Zoom platform, but the important thing is there, after completion of 20 days we'll visit your location. That means a specific location from where we'll get 50 plus registrations will visit. I will visit that particular place and will held one day session at that particular place for your practical queries and to interact with you. So don't wait, register now if you want to go for that particular course. But yes, it will be a unique opportunity for all of you if you will join. Now, next change, next amendment. As we all know, government has come up with the invoice management system. Sir, you have idea about the invoice management system? As soon as my supplier is going to save the data in GSTR1 return, the same will be auto-populated in my invoice management system dashboard. I have to accept, I have to reject, I have to keep it pending. Okay. Now, the point is that suppose I have issued, just try to understand the example. I require your 100% attention on the screen. Sir, I have issued one sales invoice at the rate of 1018%, 180 rupees. Okay. Now, after providing that particular invoice to my buyer, and buyer has claimed the input tax credit on 180 rupees, I have issued one credit note. I have issued one credit note. And that credit note is for 100 rupees, 18%, you can say 18. So now I need to pay the GST on 162. Okay, the point is that. But now government is saying that, sir, whenever you will issue the credit note, your counterparty, that means your buyer, has to reverse the input tax credit. How we can get the idea that the buyer has reversed the input tax credit or not? On the IMS dashboard, the data related to debit and credit note will also be available. Sir, my voice is perfect. Any issue, please comment me in the chat box. My voice is audible. Yes, sir, my voice is audible. Please comment me once in the chat box. Okay, sir. So, sir, I think there is certain issue with at your end. Please check it right now. Okay. So now, in that case, government wants the cross confirmation that the buyer has reversed the input tax credit or not. Or for that purpose, they are saying you just need to do one thing. You just need to do one thing. On the IMS platform, invoice management system, the buyer has to accept or reject or keep it pending. So buyer has to accept that credit note. When the buyer is going to accept the credit note, only in that case you will be eligible to reduce your outward supply. Otherwise, you will not be able to reduce your outward supply. So this is a very important fact which we need to keep in our mind. And whenever now our client is going to issue the credit notes, we just need to say our client that, sir, first ask your buyer to accept the same. After that, you will be eligible to reduce your outward supply in your GSTR 3B. If your buyer is not going to accept the same, if you are going to reduce your outward supply, that will be added in your liability. That type of consultancy we should provide to our client, so that our client will be with us, that we are providing. So this is also a very specific change related to reversal of ITC on account of credit note. Effective date to be notified, provided that no reduction, earlier the section number 34 subsection 2, provided that no reduction in output tax liability of supplier shall be permitted if the incidence of tax interest on such supply has been passed on other person. But now they have provided the amended section and written, provided that no reduction in output tax liability of supplier shall be permitted if the input tax credit as is attributable to such a credit note if availed has not been reversed by the recipient where such recipient is a registered person. And how the reversal will be done? By reducing the outward supply in the reversal part and accepting the credit note through the IMS dashboard. So through that particular aspect, we all can get the idea, the importance of the invoice management system dashboard. Next, amendment in section number 38 subsection 1. Sir, first we'll try to understand section number 38. Section 38 is a specific section which is going to impose certain conditions to reduce the fake ITC. The memory technique is section 38 fake conditions to reduce the fake input tax credit. And in that particular section, if we will check the section number 38 subsection 1, they have clearly mentioned that the taxpayer can claim the input tax credit on the basis of one auto-generated statement. As we all know that when we are filing our GSTR 3B return, the input will be auto-generated from GSTR 2B. Am I right? The input tax credit will auto-generated from our GSTR 2B. Now the point is that in that particular part, government is saying that now we are launching the invoice management system that is called as IMS. And in case of invoice management system that is IMS, taxpayer has to accept, reject, or keep it pending. And after taking all these type of steps, the input will be auto-populated in your GSTR 2B. That means now input is not auto-populated. Input will be populated based on the action taken by the supplier or taken by the recipient on the IMS dashboard. So now the auto-generated word should be removed. Hence, government has provided the amended definition of section number 38 subsection 1, and they written a statement containing the details of the input tax credit shall be made available electronically. That means now onwards nothing will be available auto generated. You have to take the steps or actions while using the IMS dashboard invoice management system. I hope you are able to understand the reasons, because in this particular webinar, if I only need to explain you the changes or proposals or amendments, then it will merely take 10 minutes. But I just want to share with you with logics that what are the logic, why the changes are there. And the same thing we are going to perform in our GST comprehensive course, okay, which is going to be start from the 1st of March. But we have a very limited amount of seats, so if anyone wants to join, then please register by today so that we can send the study material on time. All the books are physical books. Itna mota books hai, okay, all the books are physical books and in a very simplified way. Now 7 number change, which is in section number 39. Sir, section 39 payment defined. This section is related to payment under GSTR 3B. This section is related to GSTR 3B. And in that particular section, sir, one point is there, and I just want to clarify that point. And I just want to clarify that specific point which is there in section number 39. If we will go with section number 39, sir, कभी मेरा GSTR 3B अगर रह जाता है, if I am going to file my GSTR 3B delayed, in such a scenario, I just need to pay interest. I just need to pay the interest and late fees with that GSTR 3B, and I can easily file that GSTR 3B return. No any other condition is there, or no any penalty is there. Am I right? If I am not going to file the return on time, and if I am going to file the return delayed, in that case, they are going to collect the interest and late fees from me. No any other things are there. The same is mentioned in section number 39, subsection 1. But now they have amended the section and they have written that, sir, If you are going to file the return delayed, in such a scenario, we may impose certain conditions and restrictions. That means now they are free to impose certain conditions and restrictions in the form of any penalty, in the form of any compliances, in the form of any document submission, in the form of any clarification. So अभी तक तो होता क्या था, if the taxpayer is going to file the delayed return, only late fees and interest is there. Now any other conditions or restrictions may be prescribed. So that is what is the thing we need to convey our client. अगर मुझे इन चेंजेस के बारे में पता ही नहीं है, my client is going to file the delayed return and I am not going to suggest these things to my client, in that case, in future, whenever there will be a notice, my client will directly say me that, sir, you have not convey these things to us. Hence, we just need to be very much careful from that aspect. And this is also a very important change we should keep in our mind. Sir, next change, and which is a very, very important change related to pre-deposit. If you are into the litigations, or if you are handling the litigations, if you are handling the litigations, in that case, you need to know that, sir, if a particular decision which has been passed by the jurisdictional officer, and I am not ready with the decision which has been passed by jurisdictional officer, in that case I may file appeal before the appellant authority. मैं उस situation में appellant authority के पास में appeal file कर सकता हूं. But for filing the appeal before the appellant authority, I have to deposit 10% of tax. I have to deposit 10% of tax. And suppose if I am not ready, or if I am not going to accept the decision which has been pronounced by the appellant authority, in that case, I may file the appeal before the appellant tribunal. For filing the appeal before the appellant tribunal, I also need to pay additional 10% of tax. Disputed amount, I need to pay 10% of tax. Now, the point is that in this budget, government is saying that, sir, you have to pay 10% of tax. But suppose in my notice there is merely a demand of penalty. There is merely a demand of penalty. And when the demand is merely on account of penalty, then government is saying that 10% of tax. So no pre-deposit is required. Hence, in this budget, government said that, sir, now if the demand is merely on account of penalty, in that case also you have to pay 10% of penalty as a pre-deposit. If your demand is merely on account of penalty, in that case you have to pay 10% of penalty for filing appeal before the appellant authority. And if you want to file appeal before the appellant tribunal, you need to pay additional 10% of the penalty. That is what is the point. But suppose, just for an example, if possible, just sir, write it down. Okay. If the demand is for tax plus penalty, in that case, whether I have to deposit 10% of tax plus penalty both? No. When the demand is for tax plus penalty, in such a scenario, you just need to pay 10% of tax. In that case, you need not to pay the 10% of penalty. If the demand is merely on account of penalty, in that case only you have to pay 10% of the penalty as a pre-deposit to file a appeal. Okay. Or they have also taken the reference of section number 129. Sir, 129 online, that is confiscation of goods. That is confiscation of goods. Confiscation of goods online during the movements. In such a scenario, you need to pay the penalty 10% of tax. In this section number 129, earlier the penalty was 25%. Now they have reduced the penalty to 10%. And for all other penalties, if the demand is merely on account of penalty, then 10% of 10% of penalty will be treated as pre-deposit. Now, just prepare one chart for that. Related to pre-deposit, if demand is on account of tax plus penalty, then you have to deposit 10% of tax. Okay. If the demand is merely on account of penalty, then you have to deposit 10% of penalty. Okay. Now, Suppose if the demand is under section 129, that is confiscation during the movement of goods, in such a scenario you have to pay 10% of penalty as a pre-deposit. That is what is the chart which is useful. Sir, just confirm me once, are you getting the points? The penalty is okay for everyone? Now, government is coming up a specific mechanism that is called as unique identification marking. Sir, I request you to please comment in the chat box. Are you getting the points? Are you enjoying? You may put enjoying in the chat box if you are really enjoying the session. Because your comments plays a very important role for me. जब मैं यहाँ comment पढ़ता हूँ ना, automatically मेरा power double हो जाता है. Okay, I am getting energy from your comments. Or if any negative comment is also there, then also it will be a suggestion for me that I have to enhance the capacity. So, yes, sir. With that, unique identification marks. So, government is going to introduce a specific marking mechanism, unique identification marking, and that mechanism is applicable for person. Government may say that we are going to provide identification for a specific person or specific goods. जैसे अपना एचएसएन एचएससी कोड होता है ना, सेम थिंग पे बेस्ड गवर्नमेंट में इंट्रोड्यूस द यूनिक आइडेंटिफिकेशन मार्किंग for person or for goods. This is not applicable for all. Government is going to select the category and accordingly they are going to provide you the identification marking, and that marking may be a digital stamp, maybe a digital mark, or any other similar marking which is unique, secure and non-removable. That type of identification may be provided by the government. So this is a specific section, section number 2, subsection 116A, which is newly inserted in the CGST Act. So be ready for the unique marking, or you have to follow that particular type of thing as well. And that unique identification marking is in comparison with the track and trace mechanism. Okay, government wants to track certain things. For that purpose they are going to use the concept of unique identification marking, and if anyone is not going to follow this specific provision for which the government has specified that particular provision, in such a scenario there is a penalty, that is 1 lakh rupees or 10% of tax, whichever is higher, that will be the penalty may be imposed by the government if you are going to if you are not following the compliances of the track and trace mechanism or unique identification marking. So this is a very specific provision, and for which that government has also introduced one new section, section 122B, for the implication of penalty related to unique identification marking and track and trace mechanism. And the penalty which we have already covered, penalty equal to an amount of 1 lakh rupees or 10% of the tax payable, whichever is higher, that will be the penalty if we will not follow the track and trace mechanism. So this is a very important thing. Sir, as we have already idea about the schedule number 3, neither supply of goods nor supply of services, all the activities or transactions which is mentioned in schedule number 3 will be treated as neither supply of goods nor supply of services. And in that particular segment, government has certain elements. One is high sea sales. I am in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. If I bought something from Germany and I sell the same to Dubai, in that case there will be no any inward supply to my custom territorial water. So that will be treated as my high sea sales, and that will be treated as neither supply of goods nor supply of services. And government has also pronounced that if there will be any sale from the custom bonded warehouse, any supply from the custom bonded warehouse to other custom bonded warehouse before clearance of home consumption, that will also be treated as neither supply of goods nor supply of services. In that schedule, government has introduced two further things. If there will be any supply of goods in a special economic zone or free trade warehousing zone before the home consumption or before the export, that will also be treated as neither supply of goods nor supply of services. That means any supply of goods in that special economic zone or the free trade warehousing zone, if goods is moving in between the zones but the same is not supplied for the home consumption or for the domestic tariff area or for the export, in that case the same will be treated as neither supply of goods nor supply of services. That means no applicability of GST. And also government is saying if the taxpayer has paid any amount, in that case we are not going to provide any refund of the same as well. This specific thing has also been pronounced by the government. So in this particular file, we have covered the amendment related to the GST. We have covered the specific amendment related to vouchers. We have covered the specific amendments related to the track and trace mechanism. We have also covered the unique identification marking. We have also covered the or and ka importance, that is plant or machinery, plant and machinery. We have also covered free warehouse trade zone. So these are the basic amendments which are proposed in the budget 2025, and we have covered all the proposals which is there from the GST perspective. Any question if you have, then I request please comment in the chat box. I request everyone please comment in the chat box. Everything is fine, good. Then we may start our discussion on the income tax briefly, okay? Because income tax related changes are not so relevant. The reason being why I am saying that income tax related changes are not so relevant, because new income tax bill is coming in next week very soon, okay? So we need to focus on that. Sir, government is going to decide the product. Government is going to decide the product. This will not be applicable for all. This will be for the selected categories, okay? Complete mechanism will also be prescribed, but we just need to keep one thing in our mind, that these type of things may be there. Sir, once the DRC 07 has been issued, in such a scenario, if there is a mistake which is apparent from the records, in that case rectification may be there, but otherwise you need to go for the appeal. And I request everyone, if you want to master yourself related to GST, in that case I request everyone to join the GST comprehensive course, which is freely available for you. You just need to pay the cost of books, and really we are providing the books at cost only. And this course is very interesting, very unique, okay? Every day 1 hour I will be the faculty, so I request you all to join that particular course, to register for that course. I ensure you that that will be a very good step taken by you. That will be an investment from your side, 3,400, and this will give you back around 3 crore and 4 lakh. Okay, so be ready for that. Anyone wants this booklet on budget, then you may text on the number so that my team member will share with you the booklet as well. But this time we are not providing the booklet for free. We are charging 99 rupees. Logic I have already shared that why we are charging the rupees. Okay. Now, in this particular booklet, we have covered the complete analysis of budget from income tax, from direct tax, from indirect tax, from custom perspective. Okay. But in this particular webinar, we have covered the detailed analysis from GST perspective. Now, briefly, we'll cover the income tax. Okay. Now, certain important things are there which I want to share with you related to income tax. Okay. In between that, if you have any query, you are free to raise the same. Now the most important thing is that the basic exemption limit has been enhanced by the government to 12 lakh rupees. This is the most important thing you can say for all of us, that the limit has been enhanced to 12 lakh rupees. Certain tax practitioners are saying that, sir, now the return filing work has reduced, now we'll get a very less amount of return filing work, and these type of things are also there in the market. But for that purpose, I just want to tell you that, sir, a most important opportunity is related to litigation, analysis of law, consultancy, which will always be there. वो हमेशा यहाँ पर रहने वाली है, वो कभी भी नहीं जाने वाली है. So we just need to focus on that aspect. Again, I have shared the link to register for that particular course. You can say, in my opinion, if you will join, this will be a great thing for you. I have shared the registration link. If you want to join, you can join by today itself, because limited sheets for the Zoom. Okay, then you need to go for the YouTube only. And for this course, we are also going to take one examination, and also test series are also there, multiple test series are also there, consultancy is also there. So this is a unique combination of multiple things for the GST practitioners to enhance, to develop their knowledge. So now the limit has been enhanced to 12 lakh rupees. But if your income cross 12 lakh rupees, in that case, you need to calculate the tax amount from the basic exemption limit, that is 4 lakh rupees. Up to 4 lakh, nil tax will be there. From 4 lakh, 1 rupee till 8 lakh, the 5% tax will be there. 8 lakh to 12 lakh, 10% will be there. 12 to 16, 15% will be there. 16 to 20, 20% will be there. 20 to 25, 25% tax will be there. And about 24 lakh rupees, 30% tax will be there. Standard deduction, that was earlier 50,000 rupees. Now they have enhanced to standard deduction up to 75,000 rupees in case of salaried employee. Family pension up to 25,000 rupees. Okay, and now the most important thing, for old regime, there is no changes in the slab rates, because in new income tax bill, no old regime will be there. Okay, hence they have not make any changes in that. But if you want to go for new regime, you have to select. No, your new regime will be auto selected. If you want to go for old regime, then only you need to opt for the old regime. Otherwise, need not to opt for the old regime. Okay. Now, these are the steps, you can check it. Okay, and for corporate tax rates, all the tax rates are given in the multiple charts. You can easily go through with it. Okay, now certain important things which I want to share with you related to the income tax, which is very much relevant. And the first one is your house property. Sir, now I am not going to take our discussion from this particular booklet. Now we'll discuss the important things which is there with me. Sir, house property. If suppose a particular person who is residing in the complex which has been provided by the company, and that person has two properties, A property and B property, in that case, the both the property, that is property A or property B, property A or property B, both will be treated as self-occupied. That means no income tax will be applicable. The same will be treated as self-occupied. Earlier, only one property was treated as self-occupied. Now in this budget, government has pronounced that up to two properties will be treated as self-occupied. That is what is the very important thing which is there. Also, they have introduced one specific presumptive taxation scheme. Presumptive taxation scheme, that is 44 BBD. They have introduced one new presumptive taxation scheme, that is 44 DDD, 44 BBD. And through that particular scheme, they are saying for the presumptive income section, if any person who is NRI and that person is involved in the manufacturing of electronic goods, that means NRI. सर हो सकता है you are not dealing in these type of things, because maximum chances pe our professional are dealing in the filing of income tax return or all those things. But this is my recommendation to you, that these things are also very much relevant, so you just need to keep these things in your mind. Okay, sir, NRI, NRI is going to involved in the manufacturing of electronic equipment. NRI is involved in the manufacturing of electronic equipment. In that case, that person can go for the presumptive taxation scheme, and as per that presumptive taxation scheme, that person has to just pay 25%, just deem profit the 25% of turnover or gross receipt, और उस profit पे that person has to make the payment of taxes. That is called a specific presumptive taxation scheme for the NRI. Okay, those who are involved in the manufacturing of electronic goods and technology related things. In that case, the presumptive taxation scheme will be applicable, and they may treat their profit as 25% of the turnover or gross receipt, and accordingly calculate the tax. That is what is the option which is also available. Now, next, section number 72 subsection A. So if you want to write the section, you can write 72 subsection 1, 72 subsection A, subsection AA. In this particular aspect, as we all know that whenever there will be amalgamation, in such a scenario, two entities, suppose X entity is there, Y entity is there, and they are going to amalgamate and create one new entity that is called as XY entity. In such a scenario, that X entity के पास में कोई loss है, then X entity can carry forward the loss for 8 years. So earlier there were one mechanism that if X and Y is going to amalgamate, in that case that XY limited can carry forward the loss for next 8 years. That means fresh 8 years will be there. But now in budget 2025, government has prescribed that the carry forward of loss will be allowed for remaining years only. Suppose that X has taken the benefit of carry forwarding of the losses for 4 years. In that case, the amalgamation, in case of amalgamation, the XY entity will be eligible to carry forward the losses for 4 years only. Now no fresh limit will be there, only the limit for the remaining years will be there. That is what is the specific change which is there. As we all know, in this budget, the focus of government is on expenditure oriented economy. Government don't want the investment oriented economy. अब government को चाहिए ऐसी economy जो expenditure करे, that is called as expenditure oriented economy. And from that particular perspective, government is saying that if someone is going to withdraw something from NSS, National Saving Scheme, in that case that withdrawal will not be taxable. If there will be any withdrawal from NSS scheme, that will be not taxable. Okay, earlier the same was taxable. Now if there will be any withdrawal from the National Saving Scheme, the same will be not taxable. That is what is the change which is there in budget 2025. Next, section number 80 CCD. NPS Vatsalya scheme. This is a very specific scheme and the name is NPS Vatsalya scheme. I am going to try that I can share with you the things in a very simplified way. Okay, so this is a specific scheme, NPS Vatsalya scheme, and if someone is going to deposit 50,000 rupees in this particular scheme for the minor, that means if guardian is going to deposit the amount for the minor, in such a scenario, guardian can take the benefit of 50,000 rupees of deduction. Guardian can take the benefit of the 50,000 rupees. But the point is that if guardian is going to withdraw that amount before 18 years age of that particular minor, in that case the same will be taxable. Okay, but in case of death of that minor, the guardian can withdraw the amount, no taxability will be there. So NPS Vatsalya scheme, this is a very specific scheme, 80CCD. If any major, that means guardian is going to deposit the amount up to 50,000 rupees for the minor, that person can get the benefit while filing the income tax return. If the person is going to withdraw that amount before completion of the age 18 by the minor, in that case the same will be taxable. In case of death of the minor, that person can withdraw the amount without any taxability. Now, most important, sir, 87A. they have clarified that the rebate 87A ka benefit will not be eligible or will not be available in case of long term capital gain or short term capital gain. That means in case of long term capital gain or short term capital gain, you have to make the payment of taxes. आपको उसके पेमेंट का टैक्सेस करना पड़ेगा. Now, next important thing, which is my trust. If someone is handling the work related to trust, then this is also a very important thing which we should keep in our mind. Sir, in case of trust, we all know there is requirement of renewal of trust after 5 years. Okay, there is requirement of renewal trust after 5 years. Now government is saying no renewal is required for 10 years. That means अब 5 साल में आपको renewal नहीं करवाना है. No requirement of renewal within 5 years. You can go for 10 years. But the condition is that this specific benefit is available for the small trust only. Sir, what do you mean by the small trust? So for that purpose, government has provided that the specific trust जिसकी ग्रॉस रिसिप्ट प्रीसीडिंग फाइनेंशियल ईयर में 5 करोड़ रुपीस से कम है, द ग्रॉस रिसिप्ट ऑफ दैट स्पेसिफिक टर्म इज लेस देन 5 करोड़ रुपीस ड्यूरिंग द प्रीसीडिंग 2 financial year. In that case, that person can apply for the renewal after 10 years. So this is a specific benefit for the small trust, and the definition of small trust is related to the gross receipts. Specific section number 12AB, and next and last section related to the trust, that is 12AB4. And in this particular section, they have specifically mentioned that earlier hota kya tha, if the application was incomplete, then they are going to reject the application. But this time in this budget, they have said that if any application for the trust is incomplete, then also the same cannot be rejected. The same can be completed by the departmental authority and suggest the same to the taxpayer, so that that person can make the necessary changes and provide the perfect application, but the application should not be rejected. So two important things are there. One is related to incomplete, or second is related to renewal in case of trust. So in this particular session related to income tax, we have covered the basic exemption limit. We have covered the specific things related to the trust. We have covered the specific things related to the house property. We have covered the specific things related to the national saving scheme. We have covered the specific things related to the NPS scheme. We have covered the specific things related to 87A and also the presumptive taxation scheme. These are the certain specific things. Also, multiple changes are there related to TDS. So the same is given in this particular PDF file with charts. Okay, with the complete table is also given, and the complete part is also given in this particular thing. Sir, your NSS withdrawal will not be taxable as soon as the notification will come. Okay, as soon as the notification will be come. So the date will be notified very soon. But although the interest on this particular fund has been discontinued by the government from 29th of August 2024, 29/8/2024 से उन्होंने NSS पे इंटरेस्ट तो डिसकंटिन्यू कर दिया था. Now withdrawal पे they are going to notify the date from which no taxability will be there from the withdrawal of the NSS. Any other question? Please put it in the chat box. So in this particular workshop, we have covered the detailed analysis of budget from the GST perspective, indirect taxation. We have also covered the brief facts related to the income tax, in which we have covered the slabs of tax, that is tax rate, and also we have covered multiple specific important points related to income tax. I have already covered those points, which is very much relevant, because multiple things are going to change in case of new income tax bill. So I have only cover the specific things. If anyone wants this PDF file, then you may text on this number. My team member will share with you the PDF file as well. And the registration link for our course. I have shared already the link with you on this particular chat box. If you have any question related to that, you may connect on that number. Okay, my team member will guide you very well. And at the end, if you have any suggestion for this particular course and whatever will be your feedback for this workshop, I request everyone to provide your valuable feedback, because your valuable feedback plays a very important role. Just 2 minutes time you have to provide the feedbacks. Yes, sir. If the income is up to 12 lakh rupees, in that case, no tax is there. So you can declare income up to 12 lakh rupees. I request everyone, please provide your valuable feedback about the course in the chat box, because this plays a very important role. We have covered the content in 1 hour and 30 minutes, 25 minutes. So whatever will be your feedback about this specific course, you may put. And also, I suggest join the GST comprehensive course. Definitely, it will enhance your skills in a very great way. So TDS and TCS related, we have prepared one chart and we have incorporated the same in this particular sheet. Okay, because there is just a change in the rates, current threshold limit and proposed threshold limits. Okay, current threshold limits and proposed threshold limit. So you can easily go through with it. And for TDS and TCS chart, those who don't want to go this particular or buy this particular PDF file, then will provide you this particular rate chart freely. Okay, you just need to click on that number. They will provide you this chart. And sir, again, we are just charging 99 rupees. Just one reason is there. You can check each and every page of this PDF file. Okay, because we have prepared it with a lot of efforts. So we just required that ऐसा नहीं हो केवल मेल पे फ्लोट होती रहे और कोई उसको पढ़ने वाला ही नहीं हो. Hence, we are charging something. So thank you everyone for your feedback. We are receiving a lot of feedbacks in this particular chat box as well. So thank you everyone for joining, for listening with us. And I hope you all will be there in the GST comprehensive course. And this is my promise, my assurance to you. It will be a milestone course for all of you. I will make my 1000% efforts to make that session or make that course as a grand success. So once again, thank you everyone. Or if you have any query related to budget, you may comment or you may connect on the WhatsApp number as well. Okay, if you have any query, you can connect on that number as well. And while going for the registration for our GST comprehensive course, if you have any issue, in that case also you may connect on this number. Also, once again, I heartily thanks to all of our associations, all Goa Tax Practitioners Association, VRS GST Academy and Pondicherry Tax Professional Society for providing us the continuous support for holding the sessions with the number of participants. So thank you everyone. We'll definitely meet in any other session, in any other webinar, in any other program, in any other event. And definitely, if you will join our GST comprehensive course, then we'll definitely meet with you personally at your location as well. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.